What is going on, guys? It is your model of the IWC here tonight with your guys' Money in the Bank review. Money in the Bank was a very interesting show. It was all over the place, I'm gonna be honest with you. The beginning of the show was a disaster, but the end of the show, I would say, was a home run. The show was a very, very odd show. It was very good at points and very, very bad at points. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way. Becky Lynch did not show up on Money in the Bank. I'm sad to say that. She did tease it earlier today, so I figured it was probably not going to happen. More than likely, she's going to come back either tomorrow or on Friday. And unfortunately, on tomorrow, I do have a double shift, so I will not be reviewing Raw until the late hours of the night because I should be getting off around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So I'll be watching that, probably getting out a review out for you probably 1, 2 a.m. because I do not work Tuesday. But enough of that. We'll talk more about all that stuff at the end. Let's talk about Money in the Bank. What was an interesting show, to say the least. Definitely, you definitely could say it was interesting. We started things off on the pre-show here, and I actually really enjoyed the pre-show match. It was the Mysterios, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, defending their SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Usos on the pre-show. Very solid match. For the longest time, this was the best match of the night. Obviously, this is not the best match of Money in the Bank because the pre-show doesn't really count for Money in the Bank. But this was a very good pre-show match. The crowd was lively. The only thing I really have an issue with is they have the Usos go over, which isn't the main issue. The main issue is Jimmy Uso literally just got a DUI. It was like his fourth, fifth one. So what does that say when you're rewarding Jimmy Uso here and allowed him to win a tag team championship? You need to have consequences for your actions, and to come out there and to just reward the Usos with a tag team championship run, in my opinion, is not the right thing to do. I understand with Roman Reigns being there. I understand that they want to make the bloodline this big thing and they had plans in place, but you could have held off on this. You could have held off on this. And if you weren't going to hold off on this, then this match should have been on the main show because this match was better than most of the stuff on the main show up until the last two matches. Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso ended up picking up the titles here against the Mysterios. I kind of expected that, to be honest with you. You're not going to have the Bloodline lose. And it was a very solid match. Mysterios, once again, did a great job. Every time I see Dominic and Rey Mysterio together, man, I swear that both of them, they're just talented individuals. They know how to put on a solid match. So I did enjoy it. Then we started off the main show, man, with the women's Money in the Bank. This women's Money in the Bank was awful. This was by far the worst women's Money in the Bank I think we've ever seen. And that's throwing in the Carmella Money in the Bank. That's throwing in the Alexa Bliss Money in the Bank. That's throwing in every Money in the Bank basically except the one that we seen Bayley win. That women's Money in the Bank was a joke tonight. It was a joke. There was botches left and right. Tamina and Natalya did not look good. Zelina Vega got possessed at one point. That did not look good. Alexa Bliss was doing her stupid crap. That didn't look good. And then to finish it all off, everybody but Alexa Bliss. So we had Asuka, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Natalya, and Tamina. They were all sitting on top of 3 different ladders, all fighting each other at the top of the ladder, trying to grab the briefcase. Who comes behind them? Nikki Ash Brown, fake little superhero, Nikki Trash, climbs on everybody's back and grabs it, and everybody acts like they didn't know she was there. And then they're sitting there saying, well, she stole it from right underneath them. She sneaked her way behind them. There was no sneaking. She literally crawled over the top of them. She made them all look stupid. There was literally, I think it was Liv Morgan staring right at her. And instead of attacking her, who was grabbing the briefcase, she continues to throw punches on, I believe it was Naomi. And then she was on, I think it was Naomi's back. I'm not 100% sure if it was the exact 2, but she was on somebody's back. Nobody in that whole 6 people fighting for that briefcase can have an inkling of a realization that somebody is grabbing the damn briefcase, and Nikki Ash wins. She wins. Then she goes on, she goes celebrates. They're all sitting there, oh, this is great. This is gonna be great for Nikki. Why? And then you go on to social media and you see people defending it. There's people sitting there, well, this is great. Why? This is going to be the same thing that we got with Otis. It is a joke. Otis, why did he get it? Because he was in a hot storyline with Mandy Rose. They gave it to him right out of it. Thought that Otis was going to be the next guy, and Vince got bored with it. What if this? Nobody likes this gimmick. There's few people that like this gimmick. That Nikki Hash Brown, Nikki Trash Brown, Nikki Trash, Nikki Ashtray, Nikki whatever the fuck you want to call her. There's not very many people that are fond of this. And then there's the people that are really fond of it for who knows what reason. I don't know why people are excited about this. Why? It is going to end up in a similar situation as Otis. It is going to be a miserable Money in the Bank run. It is going to essentially just be there for her to go around, joke here or there. Vince McMahon can get his last for 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long it takes for him to get tired of her, and then she's going to fail her cash in a miserable fashion. Or, the other option is, she's going to do the same thing, and instead of failing her cash in, she's going to come out there and say, you know what, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before a pay-per-view, she's going to be like, you know what, since you don't have an opponent at the Elimination Chamber, Bianca, I think I want to fight you. It's not going to be anything good with the Money in the Bank for Nikki Ash. It's just not. And also, can we stop? I hate calling her Nikki Ash, and tonight they called her Nikki ASH. They stopped saying Ash. They actually spelled it out, ASH. Just call her Nikki Cross, man. Seriously. Nikki Ash wins. Is it going to be a good Money in the Bank run? Absolutely not. If Nikki Ash can somehow string together a memorable, good Money in the Bank run, I will eat my own words and I will say I'm wrong. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Her character does not work in the 2021. It does not work. It doesn't feel special. It doesn't feel like it's anything different. It just feels weird. And it's not the good kind of weird. It's not the Karrion Kross kind of weird. It's not the Finn Balor demon kind of weird. It's not the Bray Wyatt weird. It's just weird. Then we get into what was a defending of the Raw Tag Team titles with AJ Styles and Omos and the Viking Raiders. And up to this point, it really had very little standards on the main card because of that women's match. AJ Styles Omos ended up beating the Viking Raiders. A solid match. Wasn't anything too special. I wouldn't go back and watch it a second time. But it wasn't a bad match. You could still tell Omos is very green in the ring. AJ Styles and the Viking Raiders, though, they picked him up. They carried him, and they had an okay match. AJ Styles and Omos won, as they should. I don't necessarily know if I'd say they should, but I expected it to happen. Viking Raiders probably deserve a championship because they're a legit team. But AJ Styles and Omos won as I expected. And that was that. You can tell Omos is a little bit green, but match wasn't bad. At the point this was by far the best thing because that women's match was a disaster. But definitely not something I would go back and watch a second time. Then we got the fourth match, man, they wanted to get this Bobby Lashley, Kofi stuff out of the way. This was a train wreck. I don't know why we couldn't have done this on our Monday Night Raw. This match lasted 7 minutes. It probably should have lasted 2. Bobby Lashley completely ragdolled Kofi Kingston the entire time. He was throwing him all around the arena. He was throwing him here or there. He was hitting the hurt lock on him, and he just wouldn't let go, and then he finally just beat him from technical submission. Wasted everybody's time, wasted 7 minutes, wasted whatever time they took to get out there through their entrances. It was a waste of time. They could have done that on a Raw. Would have meant the same thing. They probably should have done it on a Raw. Would have meant the same thing. If you're going to do a match with Kofi Kingston and Bobby Lashley at a pay-per-view, make it pay-per-view worthy. Don't come out there and make it a squash match. If you wanted a squash match, you could have had Kofi come in there and challenge him on a Monday Night Raw, and we could have had Bobby Lashley off on the pay-per-view. That's simple. Then we got into people, man. People were really praising this match at the end. I don't know why. It was Charlotte Flair going up against Rhea Ripley defending her championship. Rhea Ripley was. I don't know why people were defending this match. This match was full of botches left and right. They couldn't do roll-ups. They couldn't pick each other up. They were missing kicks. They were barely hitting each other. Charlotte missed moonsaults. This match was a train wreck, man. And they literally got this crowd hook, line, and sinker to buy into this match. This crowd went from starting off the match with "We want Becky" chants. That's how bad it was at the beginning. We spent about the first maybe 5 minutes of this match sitting here in this center listening to "We want Becky." And towards the end, we started getting "This is awesome" chants. I don't know what was awesome. Is it awesome that they broke a new record for how many botches they had? Seriously. And then I was sitting there and I was talking to some people. I was like, am I the only one that was recognizing these botches? And then a couple of my friends were like, no, we saw them. And one was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. Seriously. And then you go on social media afterwards, everybody's praising it. Why? It was a botch fest. It was terrible. It was terrible. Between two people that I legitimately don't care about, not only don't I care about them, but they put on a terrible match. Now, I will say Charlotte Flair did have a great moment where she flipped off the fans for chanting "We want Becky." That's how she should react. That's whatever. But I don't see how anybody thought that was a great match. I'm going to be honest with you. The match was sloppy. And I was told that was a hot take. That match was very sloppy. It was very, very sloppy. And there's no other way to put it. I don't know what I was watching compared to you guys, but I thought that match was miserably booked. And not even, or I wouldn't say miserably booked. It panned out miserably. It might have been some good spots, but they just didn't look good because of how bad they were botching. They literally just looked off. I literally went and looked at my dad during this match. I said, you can tell that they were very much benefiting off of what they were doing in the Performance Center, where they're able to have a second take, they're able to do camera cuts, they're able to kind of pan some of that out, kind of that ring rust. I could tell that there was ring rust. And I don't know if that's just me being a stickler or if that's me just picking up on things that necessarily you guys aren't looking out for because we haven't really seen a live show like this in a while with the WWE. But it was a botch fest. Charlotte Flair won. Who cares? Becky did not show up. Unfortunately, I'm going to probably have to look at my phone tomorrow and realize that Becky returned during my shifts and work, and that's really going to piss me off if I'm going to be honest with you because I want to see that. I specifically put on this shirt today for a reason. I thought Becky was going to be there tonight, and she was not. That is my homegirl since day one. Y'all know that already, though. Unfortunately, she did not show up tonight. She did tease her she was going to show up, but she did not show up. Then we got into Money in the Bank ladder match, and at this point, man, holy shit. Holy fucking shit, man. I really thought I was going to have a heart attack at one point. I'm not even joking. I seriously left the room because I thought I was going to have a seizure. Because at this point, Peacock started glitching in and out. It would go from a black screen to a quick little clip of an entrance for like 2 seconds. It would freeze. Then it would jump to another thing. And then jump. It was going real slow. It was very hard to watch. I seriously left the room because I was getting a headache just watching the screen jump from buffer and all that stuff. And I was just sitting in the other room listening for when it was going back, and it wasn't going back. And then eventually, I'm just scrolling through Twitter, I see somebody tweet out, "Restart your app." Peacock started working for me. We restarted it, and thank God we got that figured out because the men's Money in the Bank, and I can't even really say it was the match of the night because I didn't fully watch it. But at this point, it was the match of the night. Nothing touched the main event. But at this point, it was absolutely the best match of the night, and I probably got to watch about 3/4 of it. Been nice to watch the full thing, but Peacock gave us the big middle finger. They said, fuck you. And that was that. I'd love to see the beginning, but the end was amazing. Kevin Owens, he took a hell of a beating. He got powerbombed he got suplexed into a ladder. He got powerbombed into a ladder. Kevin Owens took a hell of a beating. Riddle had some cool spots. We had Johnny Drip bring out the drip stick. That was pretty cool. We had KO at some point. He was going to stunner people. Seth Rollins had some cool spots. And at the end, we saw Big E. Big E had a big ending on Seth Rollins. Big E then was able to win. But he kind of had a little bit of help because Drew McIntyre got took out by Jinder Mahal and his goons. They took and dragged Drew McIntyre out of the ring. And then Big E ended up finishing that match off and winning as he should. Absolutely brilliant Money in the Bank. I wish I could have watched the whole thing. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because whatever was happening with Peacock, they decided that they did not give a shit about the WWE product. Hey, Peacock, listen, I changed from the network to you guys because they took it off the network for the United States viewer. So I expect y'all to come out here and be able to at least keep up with what they were doing. Seriously. I'm paying for y'all's subscription, not because I want to see Peacock, not because I want to come see some of your shows. I seriously don't give a damn about 98% of the shit you got. Maybe I'll watch a movie if I get bored and can't find anything on Netflix. Maybe I'll watch a TV show if there's nothing else that I can find. But the only reason I'm really going to be using Peacock more than likely is for the network, or is for the WWE. So I would appreciate it if during the fucking time in which there's a WWE fucking pay-per-view, if we would have the goddamn shit fucking prepared. Instead of being, well, we are experiencing difficulties. Well, fucking figure out them fucking difficulties. How many fucking times have we had to come on here and complain about fucking shit not working, about freezing, and oh, we had to do this, we had to do that because there's audio different, or fucking complication. Seriously, Peacocks, fix your fucking shit. This ain't a fucking joke. Fix your fucking shit. That was the biggest fucking waste of my time. And we missed probably one of the better matches. We missed the second best match probably of the night. At least 1/4 of it. Seriously missed about the first 3-4 minutes of a 16-minute match. Peacock, fix your fucking shit. Big E wins. Big E should win. Big E absolutely should win. More than likely, I think we're probably going to wait till WrestleMania time and see potentially a Roman Reigns Big E feud. But then again, I could also see there being a situation where he fights Bobby Lashley. He could fight Bobby Lashley easily. Because you do have Bobby Lashley who just took out 2/3 of the New Day. So who's to say that instead of doing this Goldberg shit, we come out here and we say, you know what, Big E wants to cash in on Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam, fighting for his boy's honor, fighting for the boys in the blue and the pink, and wearing them pancake fucking costumes. Who's to say that Big E doesn't want to do that? Fight for his boys from the New Day and bring home a championship once again. The championship of all championships, the WWE Championship, back home on the shoulders of a New Day member. Who's to say that that's not to happen? I can see it happening. I can see it happen, absolutely. It would probably make more sense for Bobby Lashley not to have defended the title by this point. Maybe Big E teased the cash in after Kofi loses. But that wasn't the case. Then we got into by far what's the best match of the night, and I think it probably is one of the better matches, if not the best match that we've seen WWE put on all year. Roman Reigns and Edge, absolutely 100%. I said going into it that it was going to be a good match, but it's not necessarily the match that I like and want to see. Roman Reigns and Edge absolutely put on the WrestleMania match. Whatever the fuck happened at WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan, Edge, Roman Reigns should have been a one-on-one between Edge and Roman, or should have been a one-on-one with Roman and Daniel Bryan. Should not have been a triple threat match. Edge and Roman hit a home run tonight. They went about 30 minutes. They delivered everything. Edge brought out a side of Edge from that rated R superstar type of style. where he had to bring out that nasty side. Roman Reigns, he had to be the tribal chief. He had to come out there and he had to play that heel role, which he did a phenomenal job with. He came out there and he really got the crowd against him. At one point, I don't know what the fuck Fort Worth was on, because they were sitting there chanting, "You can't wrestle" at Roman Reigns. Is this WrestleMania 34? Is he facing Brock Lesnar during his babyface run? Yeah, shut the fuck up, Fort Worth. I swear to God, these fucking people tonight, man. They were fucking weird, man. They were fucking weird about their ways of chanting. They went crazy for Alexa Bliss. They went crazy for who was it? There was somebody else they fucking went ape shit for no reason. But yeah. What the fuck were we doing chanting, "You can't wrestle" at Roman Reigns? He's literally had this fucking company on his back for the last 8-9 months. This man's literally been carrying the entire business, not just WWE, the business. He's been number one right next to Kenny Omega. He's beating Kenny Omega in that. He's the number one guy in the world right now. And we're chanting, "You can't wrestle." Seriously, Fort Worth, you're better than that. Like, seriously. The fuck were you people thinking? Chanting, "You can't wrestle" at Roman Reigns. Yeah. I would love to see Roman Reigns. He cut a fucking promo on that fucking shitty ass crowd. Seriously. Seriously, man. The fuck were you people watching? Seriously, do they have the fucking Brock Lesnar feud turned on in that building? Chan, "You can't wrestle" at Roman Reigns, the top guy in the promotion right now. Yeah, he can't wrestle, but he's the one fucking carrying the division on his back. He's the one fucking making WWE watchable. He's the one that brought WWE and SmackDown to a 2.0 or higher rating. Something that Raw can't even get a 1.5. Yeah, he's the one. He's the one that doesn't have what it takes to wrestle. Spare me with that shit. Great match, Roman Reigns. Great match, Edge. Both of them absolutely deserve this spot. They both deserve the praise. But Roman Reigns was able to win with the help of his former Shield brother, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, at one point, Roman Reigns pushed Edge. Edge fell into the knee of referee Charles Robinson. They had to take him out. Seth Rollins came in, kicked Edge while he had the steel pipe in the mouth of Roman Reigns, doing that same suspension he's been doing. He kicked him in the back of the head. A new ref came out, and Seth went to distract Drew again. Drew turns around after that distraction and he hits Seth off. Roman hits a spear on him. Roman wins. And then we see Seth go into the ring, stare at Roman, and they sit there for a moment. And Seth's like, "You know what? I'm next because I made this happen for you. I did this. You wouldn't have won if it wasn't for me." And then we see Edge attack Seth Rollins. So they go fighting all the way to the back. They take it into the crowd, fighting all the way to the back. And then Paul Heyman comes in the ring. He hands the mic to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns said, "Acknowledge the head of the table." He stops. And as soon as they handed him the mic, I literally looked at my dad. I'm like, it's happening. It's him. As soon as he stops speaking, we hear the music cut. John fucking Cena comes out, man. John Cena. I tweeted out earlier today that this was the man that was going to be returning, pointed down arrows to a picture of nothing, to no picture. The man pictured below there, it was nobody. John Cena was the one I was referring to. John Cena made his return. Unfortunately, Becky didn't, but John Cena made his return, and we are finally on the path to Roman Reigns versus John Cena, heading to SummerSlam. I expect this next SmackDown to be a 2.4, 2.5 rating. John Cena versus Roman Reigns is going to be a massive program, and I could easily see them bringing back another 300K viewers, another 400K viewers. That is how big this is. This could be even bigger. This could be much bigger. I don't know if it's going to get to that point, but it could be. John Cena and Roman Reigns, second time around, with a heel Roman Reigns, a babyface John Cena, that's going to attack the flaws of the heel Roman Reigns, and a heel Roman Reigns that is going to have to sit there and expose the weaknesses of the big babyface, the top Hollywood guy, John Cena. And it's probably not going to be the same thing about going Hollywood anymore. It's going to be a little bit more deeper than that this time around. So it'll be interesting. Roman Reigns, John Cena heading into SummerSlam should be great. Edge, Seth Rollins heading into SummerSlam should be great. They set up a lot of good stuff tonight. Bobby Lashley versus hopefully Big E. God forbid it's Goldberg. It's probably going to be. But that's also up there. I imagine we're probably looking at Charlotte Flair versus Becky at SummerSlam, or maybe even later down the line. And then we have whatever the Money in the Bank titles are going to do, or Money in the Bank briefcases are going to do. So it was a very interesting show. Had its ups, had its downs, but that's all that was Money in the Bank 2021. Definitely a newsworthy show. John Cena making his triumphant return in front of the live crowd at the pay-per-view for the first time that they've had a big pay-per-view since WrestleMania in front of a full live crowd, and this is the first pay-per-view that they are going to be consistently having fans back afterwards. So, big moment there. Obviously, they needed a big surprise, especially with the way the first part of the show went. That was John Cena. Brilliant stuff. I give them a round of applause for the last 2 matches of that show. They did a phenomenal job at doing what they needed to do to revive that show. Everything else, it was whatever. But that's all I got to say for Money in the Bank 2021. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and then obviously go follow the social medias, Twitter at GamersGoonYT, the Instagram at thegoongameryt. And I'm going to leave it off there. Like I said, tomorrow night I will be reviewing it super late, probably around 1 or 2 a.m. because I'm probably going to get off around, I would assume, 10. I might get off earlier than I'm not sure because I do work a double tomorrow, so I don't know necessarily when I will be getting home. But I will be putting out a review once I get that show watched, and I'm going to get that show watched before Tuesday morning because I don't work Tuesday, so I have plenty of time. I can stay up late. It does not matter. But I'm going to get on out of here. It's about 11 o'clock already, and I got to be up in 12 hours for work, so that was all. That was Money in the Bank 2021. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show a little bit more than I did for the first half, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the final parts, man, because that stuff at the end was absolutely, as AJ Styles would say, phenomenal.